Have you written your goals for this week, for next month, or for the rest of the year? If not, there's no need to worry, as you can hire someone who can gently prod you in the right direction. And if you choose to do this, you wouldn't be alone, as the life coaching sector is almost a $3 billion global industry. Well, for more on this, I'm now being joined by the personal development coach, Eniobi. Eniobi, thank you so much for joining me on the show. Prince Harry has probably become one of the most famous life coaches in the world after the position he managed to bag last month. Can you describe what exactly it means to become a life coach and how it varies from, joining therapy?
Absolutely, Gianella. First of all, thank you for having me. So therapy is more about moving away from something. It's about solving a problem that already exists and taking you away from that. While coaching is more about moving you towards something. It's more about desires, it's more about outcomes, it's more about goals. And so it's moving you towards something as opposed to away from something, which therapy is. Therapy fixes a problem, coaching fulfills a desire.
Okay, it's now becoming almost a $3 billion sector. I was doing my research before this interview. It's valued at $2.85 billion, and it's obviously growing. You only have to go on Instagram or Twitter and see people posting all of these pretty positive affirmations. I'm sure you're not surprised that there's been a surge in interest during the lockdown.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So if there's one thing that COVID forced on people, it's the requirement to press the reset button on our lives. A lot of people use the opportunity with all the death and the devastation and the destruction, Juliana. It was the perfect opportunity for people to press the reset button on their lives and look for how they want to live their life. Look for what the real worth and the possibilities of their lives. So people use the pandemic. It was a great opportunity, as I say. So no, I'm not surprised. And a lot of people are moving towards that because they want to live a life that they desire rather than the life that's expected of them, or a life that they've inherited and they didn't realize just how far they've gone off track from who they are. So I think that's one of the, sad to say, but that's one of the positives, if you like, that has come out of the pandemic. Yes.
Absolutely. I can only imagine that it's could I say an elitist sector? Are some of your clients, elites? Are they the kind of people, that have to afford it? Kind of like, come on, make sure you get to your tennis lesson at 5 o'clock. Violin for the kids at 2, make sure you get up, have your nutritious drink. Are those the kind of, individuals that are purchasing this kind of time?
Well, I think there are all sorts of individuals. People are purchasing coaching for all sorts of reasons. There's health reasons, there's financial reasons, there's career, there's love. People want fulfillment, Juliana, in all aspects of their life. So people are looking for somebody to get them to a place within themselves that they can't necessarily go by themselves. Me specifically, my niche is professional women who are looking to discover all of who they are so that they can be all of who they are and they can live a life of fulfillment and they can unleash dreams and possibilities in their lives. But as I say, people are looking for coaching for all aspects of their life.
Absolutely. I suppose there shouldn't really be any critiques of this sector, but there are a few, and I suppose this is all about the unregulated sector. I'm sure some of us as well poke nose at individuals that are always posting positive affirmations, but you know what they get up to in their private lives. And we're not talking about some of the well-known as spiritual leaders. But, are there concerns, especially somebody like you who has devoted your time? You're a personal development coach. You're an acclaimed author. You've been working with some of the biggest leaders in the sector. Does it concern you sometimes that perhaps it has become a completely unsaturated, unregulated industry where anybody can go online and, call themselves a life coach, but they just don't have any in-depth understanding about what individuals may or may not need?
So you've actually raised a really great point, and it's a major concern in the industry right now, Juliana. So I myself have fallen prey to coaches that have not lived up to expectations. I myself have been disappointed with people that I have signed up to help me. I think what people need to do, people need to work off recommendation. Recommendation is the key here because, as you rightly pointed out, it's an unregulated area. So how do you know what you're getting and who you're working with? Work off recommendations. Get feedback from people who you know and you trust. Don't go to a stranger because then you really are at risk of being exploited. And also, I think it's imperative when you sign up with a coach to work off agreed outcomes, agreed results. So it's not about the process, it's about the outcome. It's not about me saying to you, I'll work with you for 6 months. I don't care how long. What are we going to get at the end of the 6 months? I should say, though, here, Juliana, it's important to say that there's also responsibility on the part of the person being coached. There is action to be taken on the part of the person being coached. So it's not all on the coach, because if I coach a person and they don't then follow up or follow through, I can't be held responsible or liable. So it's a two-way thing, but absolutely work off feedback, work off recommendation, and work off agreed results.
Wow, gosh. If I got my time right, that was about 10 minutes. Hopefully I won't get a bill of $1,000, but it certainly would have been worth every single cent. Eni Obi, personal development coach, thank you so much for joining me on Channels Business Global. Thanks, Eni. Sadly, that's all we have time for today, but do get in touch with your comments and suggestions. I'll see